The Buffalo Bills might not be playing their most dominant football yet, but the scoreboard tells a very clear story. For games, for wins, and 3 straight victories by at least 2 possessions. This week, it was a 31-19 win over the New Orleans Saints, and while the game might not have unfolded exactly how fans imagined, the result speaks for itself. It's starting to feel like this might just be the Bills' identity, winning with efficiency, even if not with fireworks. The offense leaves you wanting more at times. The defense has lapses, but somehow they find the right plays at the right moments and walk away with a solid win. Josh Allen remains the heart of this team. Against the Saints, he completed 16 of 22 passes for 209 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, added 45 rushing yards, and another score on the ground. Yes, he had 1 interception, but considering it was on a 3rd and 10 deep shot and the safety made a great play, it's one of those you can live with. When it mattered most, Allen stepped up in a big way, just like he always does. That drive in the 4th quarter, right after the Saints cut the lead to 21-9, was vintage Josh Allen. He marched the team 60 yards in just 4 plays, capped off by a 28-yard strike to Dalton Kincaid for a touchdown. Before that, it was a 3rd and 5 run where he scrambled for 27 yards and broke the Saints' momentum. These are the kinds of moments that separate great quarterbacks from the rest. But Allen didn't do it alone. James Cook has quickly become the engine of this offense. He ran 22 times for 117 yards and a touchdown, adding 3 catches for another 18 yards. His longest carry? 15 yards. That means he wasn't getting by on one big play. He was grinding out consistent gains, drive after drive. Cook now has 3 straight 100-yard rushing games, over 100 scrimmage yards in all 4 games this season, and a touchdown in 8 straight matchups. He's not just a contributor anymore. He's a key pillar of this team. Honestly, you start to wonder how the Bills would function without him. His balance, vision, and burst are allowing Buffalo to lean on him in ways that weren't happening last year. He's carrying a heavy workload, and he's making it look easy. Another huge performance came from Khalil Shakir, who finished with 5 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. And that touchdown, pure effort. One of those plays where you're sure he's been tackled. Once, twice, 3 times, but he somehow keeps his balance and finds the end zone. He also had a clutch 3rd and 8 catch later in the game on a scoring drive. It's starting to become clear, when Shakir gets involved, this offense flows better. Dalton Kincaid didn't have a big stat line, just 1 catch for 28 yards, but came at a critical moment, that 4th quarter touchdown to put the game out of reach. And what might go unnoticed is how impactful he was in the run game and on that Shakir touchdown. Kincaid threw the first block that opened the lane and then delivered 2 more blocks downfield to help Shakir finish the play. That's the kind of complete tight end performance that doesn't always show up in the box score, but wins games. So while the offense did stall in the 2nd quarter, which we'll get into later, the overall output of 31 points and strong production in key moments makes it a performance to be encouraged by. There were flashes of dominance, and they came from the right players. Defensively, the story was similar. There were frustrating moments, especially against the run, but the unit came through when it absolutely had to. The 2nd quarter was a great example. While the Bills' offense went completely cold, the defense picked up the slack. The Saints' drives in that stretch: punt, field goal, interception. And the first drive of the 2nd half, another punt. That's 5 straight possessions without allowing a touchdown while your own offense was sputtering. That's how you stay in control of the game. Cole Bishop's interception was the turning point. The Saints had momentum, were moving the ball, and then decided to get cute with a Philly special. Chris Olave tried to throw a pass to the quarterback, but Bishop, from the opposite side of the field, read it perfectly, took the right angle, and made a spectacular pick. He completely shut the door on what could have been a Saints touchdown. That was the splash play Bills fans have been waiting for from the rookie's safety, and it couldn't have come at a better time. There were more clutch moments on defense, like in the 4th quarter when the Saints were threatening. On 3rd down, Christian Benford made a perfect tackle in the open field to force a 4th down. Then, Tre'Davious White stepped up and stopped Alvin Kamara just short of the sticks on the next play. Say what you will about White's past issues with tackling, but this year he's been lights out in that department. These were game-saving plays. On the defensive line, Deion Walker continues to flash in a big way. 2 tackles for loss, and both of them were classic examples of a player dominating his one-on-one matchup and exploding into the backfield. Outside of Joey Bosa, Walker might be the most disruptive lineman the Bills have right now. He still needs to clean up some things with consistency and gap responsibility, but when he hits big. All in all, the defensive effort was enough to win. The Saints were held under 20 points, under 300 total yards, and converted just 5 of 15 third and fourth downs combined. That's a winning formula, especially when you've got Josh Allen running the offense. It might not be the kind of dominant defense that crushes opponents from start to finish, but it's the kind that steps up when it's needed most. Special teams also deserve a quiet shout-out. Matt Prater was perfect on the day, 1 field goal for extra points, and handled kickoff duties cleanly. It might seem like a small detail, but after watching opposing kickers botch kickoff placement and give the Bills excellent field position the last couple of weeks, it's worth appreciating Prater's consistency. Field position is one of those hidden elements of the game that makes a huge difference over 4 quarters. So yes, the Bills weren't perfect, but they were explosive when it counted. They were balanced, physical, and clutch. Josh Allen delivered. James Cook was a workhorse. Shakir made highlight plays. The defense showed up in the biggest moments. And in the end, it was another double-digit win against a team that came in ready to fight. Maybe this is who the Bills are in 2025. Not flawless, but lethal when it matters. And if that keeps translating to wins, nobody in Buffalo is going to complain. Despite all the positives, there were definitely some areas that raised concern. Moments where the offense stalled, the run defense completely fell apart, and certain depth players offered next to nothing. Let's start on offense with what might be the most glaring issue right now, running back depth. After all the excitement during the offseason about how deep this position group looked, the reality has been underwhelming. Ray Davis had just 1 carry for 3 yards. Ty Johnson had 1 touch and got nothing. That's it. In a game where James Cook handled 25 touches, the rest of the running back room contributed almost nothing. The idea was supposed to be a balanced backfield. Maybe Cook getting 50% of the workload, with the other 2 splitting the rest. But at this point, Cook is doing it all. He's on pace for nearly 400 touches this season, which is an incredible workload for any back. And sure, he's holding up well so far, but the Bills need more support behind him. You can't expect him to carry this offense for 17 weeks plus playoffs without any help. What's concerning is that Ray Davis, who is expected to be a reliable option in short yardage or to spell Cook occasionally, just hasn't looked good. Ty Johnson, always more of a situational guy, isn't contributing anything meaningful either. If something doesn't change soon, this is going to be a problem later in the season. One of the more frustrating sequences of the game came on a turnover on downs that highlighted this very issue. It was 2nd and 4. The Bills handed off to Ray Davis. No real gain. Then it's Ty Johnson on 3rd down. Again, no success. And finally, on 4th down, instead of putting the ball in the hands of Josh Allen or James Cook, they run a designed shovel pass to Khalil Shakir. The play completely collapses when Ryan Vandemark gets tripped up and the Saints take over on downs. You're in a manageable down and distance, and neither of your best defensive players are involved. That's not what you want to see, especially when the very next drive shows what could have been. 4 plays, 60 yards, Josh Allen in control, touchdown. It was a perfect example of how quickly this offense can strike when it relies on its stars. That turnover on downs, on the other hand, was a head-scratcher. Now let's talk about that second quarter. The entire offense just fell off a cliff. For drives, 0 points. It started with the interception on a deep ball, which wasn't the worst decision, but it still flipped field position. Then came 2 straight punts, and finally the end-of-half possession that went nowhere, thanks in part to penalties and poor field position. On each of those drives, the Bills were pinned deep in their own territory, and they just couldn't dig themselves out. First down production was non-existent. When you're consistently starting with a run for no gain or an incomplete pass, the whole drive becomes uphill. That's how you end up with sequences where you're going 5 and out or worse. And the fact that they couldn't flip the field or sustain any kind of rhythm made the second quarter feel like an eternity. Defensively, while the big plays were there, the run defense was absolutely gashed. The Saints ran the ball 34 times for 189 yards, averaging 5.6 yards per carry. That's unacceptable, especially considering New Orleans was playing with a left guard making his first career start and a backup right guard for most of the second half. There were way too many missed tackles, bad angles, and over pursuits. Kendry Miller, a rookie, looked like a veteran out there. And when a team is that successful on the ground, it opens everything else up. The Saints didn't take full advantage, but better teams will. The Bills have got to clean up their run fits and start making tackles at the line of scrimmage instead of chasing from behind. Another head-scratcher came from the special teams unit, specifically long snapper Reed Ferguson. 2 penalties, a bad snap on an extra point, and getting beaten on a special teams play that ended up injuring Cam Johnston. That's 4 negative plays from your long snapper in a single game. And that's the kind of stuff that can swing a close contest. Special teams is often overlooked until something goes wrong. And in this game, Ferguson was more of a liability than an asset. Personnel decisions also raised some eyebrows. For one, Ray Davis and Ty Johnson's lack of production makes it even more frustrating that the Bills continue to dress them without really using them. Then there's the curious case of Brandon Codington, a player kept on the roster mostly for his ability as a return specialist, and yet he was a healthy scratch in this game. That's a tough pill to swallow. If he's not contributing on offense or defense and isn't even active to return kicks, what's the point of keeping him on the active roster? Curtis Samuel handled kick returns instead and actually ran hard, including a nice catch on a 3rd down whip route. It's not a huge issue right now, but it speaks to the bigger problem of trying to balance a roster where some players aren't offering enough value. Landon Jackson being inactive again also raises questions. The rookie defensive end has the physical tools and played in a competitive SEC environment, but he can't seem to get on the field. And the player getting the jersey over him, Javon Solomon, hasn't exactly impressed. He's struggled with angles, finishing plays, and doesn't offer much in terms of physical dominance. If Solomon is the better option right now, that says a lot about where Jackson is in his development. He might need more time, but the Bills could really use another disruptive body on that line. And it's a little disappointing that Jackson hasn't earned a look yet. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. In what is rapidly becoming the NFL's most sensational off-field drama, rumors are swirling around Buffalo this morning as Mitchell Trubisky, the quarterback whose tenure with the Bills has been the subject of endless speculation, reportedly announced his departure from the team. Sources close to the situation claimed Trubisky's frustration reached a boiling point, with the enigmatic signal caller allegedly telling insiders, "I've reached my limit," while leaving the team's facilities. Fans and analysts alike are scrambling to piece together what this could mean for both the franchise and Trubisky's future. While the Bills have not officially confirmed the report, whispers around league circles suggest that Trubisky's relationship with the coaching staff and front office may have deteriorated more than previously known. Some insiders hint that it's not just on-field disagreements, but also a clash over offensive strategy, play calling, and what Trubisky perceives as a lack of trust in his abilities. The timing of this revelation is particularly dramatic. Coming after a season that has seen ups and downs for the Bills' offense, speculation is already mounting about who could fill the void should Trubisky officially step away. Could this open the door for a rookie quarterback eager to prove himself? Or will the team look externally for a seasoned veteran? Meanwhile, the rumor mill is in overdrive with potential trade talks, with names already being floated across social media and insider chats, though nothing concrete has emerged. What is clear is that Trubisky's bombshell has ignited a frenzy. Fans are tweeting, analysts are debating, and the sports world is buzzing with a question mark hovering over Buffalo's quarterback situation. Some supporters expressed disappointment, recalling Trubisky's flashes of brilliance, while critics argue this could be the inevitable fallout of a mismatch between talent and system. As the day unfolds, all eyes will be on the Bills' front office for a statement. One thing is certain: whether this is a dramatic shakeup, a prelude to a trade, or simply a tempest in a teacup, Mitchell Trubisky's declaration has already set the NFL rumor mills spinning like never before. The saga of "I've reached my limit" may just be beginning. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.